How to make exercise not be a bear. Like, how many of us go through enough stressful stuff on a regular basis that we don't need exercise and movement to be an added stress to that, right? And I said, okay, why am I not motivated? Why am I not excited about this? Like, why am I not like totally like, yes, jumping out of bed in the morning? So I'm like, okay, obviously something is wrong here. Let me ask you the question, like, how many things on a regular basis are you pushing yourself through that you don't necessarily want to do, right? Life is full of these things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we need to do them, okay? How can we actually make things so that we want to do them? Can we frame them in a different way, give them a different purpose, so that we can go back at them with a different vigor, a different energy, and a different presence, like whenever we show up to them? And that affects like all of life. I could go on about that. Hello everyone, welcome to the Richmond Wellness Studio. Aubrey Eicher here. Hope your day is awesome. Happy Monday. Today, I wanted to discuss this important topic, and maybe you tuned in a couple of weeks ago whenever Lisa Hazelgrove and I did a little story or snippet, or we did our video. We had a chat about burnout. And I'm telling you what, that was on my brain like from before we even started talking about it to like well after. And one of the biggest things that was floating around in my brain that I wanted to discuss with you guys today was how to make exercise not be a bear. Like, how many of us go through enough stressful stuff on a regular basis that we don't need exercise and movement to be an added stress to that, right? So I'll start with a personal story of my own. I love to run. It is a pastime of mine. It's like the only thing that is, well, other than like weight training, there are a couple of things that have like inherently stuck with me throughout the years, things that I really enjoy doing. One of them is running, another of them is weight training, and another one, still yet another, is yoga. So currently my schedule has consisted of running and weight training, strength training. And so my current schedule, I run 4 days a week. I've been training for the Richmond Marathon, and then I lift weights 3 times a week on the days that I'm not running, basically. So I do alternate them. And with that, I'm usually pretty excited. You know, I'm like, yeah, I love summertime running. Like, I personally don't mind. I like getting up early in the summertime. I am a morning person. I like getting up whenever it's warm, and even like before the crack of dawn, because I love maximizing my day. I love maximizing all of the daylight. Now, don't talk to me in wintertime about this. I have had to change my schedule quite a bit in the past year whenever it was cold and dark outside at 4, 5, 6, 6:30 a.m. So I've had to adjust seasonally. But in the summertime, I've loved training, and I love training for a marathon in the summertime. I love the sweat. I love the exertion. Like, that has been a pastime of mine. And I got back into it last year, and I had the excitement of redoing the Richmond Marathon and just getting back into it and finding my joy again in running. And so I was super excited about that. That was 2017. The last time that I had done a marathon was 2014. So a little gap, and then just like massive excitement to be back in it. Okay, so decided to commit to the Richmond Marathon this year. And it's kind of like a Richmond pastime or a Richmond tradition of mine. Like, I love being out there. I would hate to miss it. But I've been finding recently that it's really just not motivating me. And I'm actually having to shove myself out the door in the morning, or whenever, typically in the morning, always in the morning pretty much. I'm having to shove myself out the door in order to get my runs in, and just kind of like dragging through it. And I really hate that feeling. And so I kind of wanted to open up this conversation about it. And here within my story was my own introspection. I said, okay, why am I not motivated? Why am I not excited about this? Like, I have all the elements that I like. It's warm, it's humid, it's, good detoxifying sweat, like, it's good exertion, like, it just feels good to start the day like that. Like, why am I not, like, totally, like, yes, jumping out of bed in the morning like I used to? And so I started kind of just, like, thinking around that. And I realized that the big reason was because I've done the Richmond Marathon like a gob of times. It's not new. It's old news. But I still want to do it. Like, it's still within my heart, like something that I love to do every year in Richmond as just a celebratory, enjoy the changing of the leaves, like the cool air, all of the crowd support, all of the people that participate. Like, I love that. But it's not motivating me enough to say, like, yes, I want to get up and I want to run, even like 5 miles in the morning. So I'm like, okay, obviously something is wrong here. So I was digging at it and I said, okay, well, maybe if there's another race that I could get excited around just to make it feel better, because that to me is really important. Like, yes, I could continue to push myself through that, but let me ask you the question, like, how many things on a regular basis are you pushing yourself through that you don't necessarily want to do, right? Life is full of these things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we need to do them, okay? How can we actually make things so that we want to do them? Can we frame them in a different way, give them a different purpose, so that we can go back at them with a different vigor, a different energy, and a different presence, like whenever we show up to them? And that affects like all of life. I could go on about that, but I won't right now. So I researched, there's like a marathonguideusa.com kind of thing that I looked into what marathons are around the time when Richmond is. And I was looking at a few. I had Philadelphia Marathon kind of on my list this year, but I also have my 30th birthday and I'm hosting a party that weekend. I haven't entirely announced that yet. But I want to throw a massive party for my friends just to like show them love and enjoy the time together. And so that weekend wouldn't work. That's like the weekend right before my birthday. So I said, okay, that's not going to work. Although Philly would be cool, especially since I did Pittsburgh earlier this year. Okay, but I digress. So I looked at a couple others, and then there was one in December, which is in Melbourne, Florida, which I was like, hey, that's cool. December, Florida. When Richmond is getting cold. That sounds really awesome. So I was looking into the logistics of that. But then like I scrolled one more page, which was like another 90 days out, and I found one in Death Valley, California. And I got excited. And this is what's really cool. Like, okay, so I started looking at all the logistics. It was really easy for me to just like dive in and say like, okay, so I wonder what flights look like, because obviously I'm gonna have to fly out there. I don't necessarily want to drive and take like 4 or 5 days. All right, so what do flights look like? Okay, that's actually pretty reasonable. It's about $300 round trip, give or take. And also, Airbnb prices are pretty reasonable as well. You can get one for like $50 some a night. Like, so I started really like ruminating over this, and I was like, oh my God, like I can totally do this. And that's in February. That's totally something to not only get me moving now, but help me to continue throughout the holidays. And I'm already thinking about this, like it's July, we're 5 months away. It's only 5 months, but we are 5 months away from December, from January, right? So it's right around the corner. Like, this is no joke. If we don't start thinking about these things now, like how do we actually plan for them and navigate through them better than we did last year, right? We can wing it all day long. But if we want this year to feel better than last year, then we have to look back and say, okay, what are the things that weren't really working for me? And how can I create better conditions to make them better, to make my results better, to make me feel better, to make my performance better, all of the above, right? So with that, I had popped onto the race page last night, and found that it sells out very quickly. Actually, I accidentally came upon the 2018 page and it said, oh, it's sold out. I was like, oh crap, like what? I just looked at this like 6 hours ago, but then I noticed that it was 2018 versus 2019. Of course, February 2018 is sold out. It's already passed. But I looked on their page and it said, hey, we've only got 350 spots, sign up. And I was like, you know, okay, I'll do it. So I did. So I get to knock off a couple of really, really cool things that I'd love to do in February, in a month where it's either cold or quite possibly 80 degrees in Richmond. You never know. But either way, it's typically cold, it's typically dark, and it's typically the dead of winter. Okay, so I get to knock off these things where like I get to see Las Vegas for the first time, which I just think will be really cool to see the lights, to see the sights, to see the whatever's going on there. Okay. And then also like the Grand Canyon is right there. Oh my God. And then of course, Death Valley. I get to run in Death Valley National Park. Like, I'm stoked about this. And I've looked at a couple of the other attractions that are close by, like Sequoia National Forest is out there. Like, that'd be really cool too. Things that you've never seen, like these huge trees. So I say all of this. I give you that whole story to say that I found something that was exciting to me. Something that would motivate me. Like literally I went to bed last night and I'm like envisioning myself running along the highway and seeing like the mountains in the distance and just having a blast. I mean, it's an out and back course. It's probably, I don't know, it's things like that can be boring. But I think that also applies by framing, you know. I think it's what we make of it. Yes, it's going to be flat. Yes, it's going to be long, but man, like it's going to be cool as crap. And I literally went out for my run this morning and I was running in the downpouring rain, but visually and mentally, I was along the highway in Death Valley, like looking at the mountains. And I think that that's a really key component. So let me break this down. Here's how you can apply something like this for you. Okay, so you've got my example, and that's great, Aubrey. Like that's you and you're kind of crazy and you want to go run a marathon in Death Valley. Like that doesn't excite me. I don't know what excites me. Okay, here's where I want you to start. Okay, because you don't need to be like that. I just get really excited about off the wall stuff. You probably saw my video last week of skydiving, and I just want like all of the coolest, best experiences that life has to offer. And those might be different criteria for you, and that's awesome. That's cool. Some people like to go scuba diving. I don't currently have that on my itinerary. That is strange to me or creepy or whatever. I'm sure it'll be cool one day. Maybe I'll do it, but it's not on my priority list. Okay. Like everybody has different concepts of what excites them. What I want to take this into is saying, know thyself, know yourself. This is an incredible experience for you to really dive in and say, okay, what is something that could motivate me? Like, do I want to learn how to ballroom dance? Like, do I want to be comfortable on the dance floor? Do I want to take salsa lessons and just like learn how to be sultry and cool like that or something? Like salsa lessons are super fun, by the way. Either solo, because there's usually other people there who have gone solo as well, or if you go as a couple, like just really fun, really sensual, good stuff. Okay. Other examples would be like, hey, maybe you want to go on this like big hike. There's some really cool ones around Virginia or in your area, wherever you're watching this from. Maybe you want to do something like a triathlon. That's very popular and very common these days. Hey, why not you? Why not now? You know, not like right this moment, like yesterday, but maybe in 3 to 5 months from now. Like, is that something that interests you or kind of like gets a little spark going on inside of you? Like, what is something that could motivate you? And it doesn't have to look like anything like I'm talking about. It could be something totally elsewhere. But what's something that's active that could get you excited? One of my examples most recently is that I got excited about learning how to golf. And I love like all of the aspects of it. I never thought that I'd be this person that's like, yeah, let me go golf. Like, it's the funniest thing to me. But I'm like, all of the elements that I like. We're outside. It's, typically good weather, beautiful courses. You get fresh air. You get socialization, and it's athletic. You get to walk around. Like, so many good parts of this game are within things that I like, and I didn't even know it. I just decided hey, do women golf? I asked one of my friends, and he was like, yeah, actually there's a lot of women that do. And so I was asking him about a tournament that was coming up, and I was exploring that. And anyway, that will be in the works. But I'm practicing, and it's fun, and it's mentally engaging, and it's neat to do. I go and I practice even whenever I'm tired, just because it's different and it's stimulating. So if you don't know what might be exciting or interesting to you, explore. Try different things. I really encourage you to step out of the box, whatever this box looks like that you're putting your brain inside of, your brain and your body, and explore. Google some stuff. Hey, what are active events in my area? What are some things that I could do? There's the Capitol Trail in Richmond. There's Belle Isle. There's the Buttermilk Trail, the North Bank Trail. So many things that we can do in Richmond. You can go swimming, you can, etc. The options are endless. What I want you to do is allow yourself the opportunity to just try new things and be open to maybe finding something that you like. And number two, if you do know something that excites you, figure out the details. Do what I did and actually map it out and say okay, if I go and do this, if this is my goal being Death Valley Marathon, all right, what does that look like financially, schedule-wise? What are the days that I'm going to be out there, and what are the other things that I'm going to do? Yes, I'm going to train for this marathon. Now I need a plan for that, right? But what are all of my details around it? Actually plan them out and write them out. For me, I make a yearly plan in terms of, I call it goals, game plan of whatever year. So I have one for 2018. I've knocked a lot of stuff off of that. I'm pleased so far. And now I'm starting one for 2019, which I had started already, I think a couple of months ago, because I was I want to do that next year. And now I get to add this one to it as well. So figure out the details of the things that are interesting to you, okay? That's your homework if you know what is exciting to you. And then if you don't, your homework is to explore and to try some new things. And I'd even encourage you to try some new things even if you do have things that excite you, because chances are you'll find something else that is fun and active. So that next step is making a plan. I know for me, I need to have a very good plan in terms of maintenance and building my mileage. If I am currently building up for a marathon in November, which I'll do because I love the Richmond Marathon, but then also to continue my training in a sustainable and safe fashion up until February of next year so that I can participate in this marathon. That plan is vital, because once you make the plan, the next step is just to execute. Hey, if you find that you want to do something like learn salsa, or you want to be able to do 15 push-ups on your own, from your toes, the real style, or maybe with your feet up on a balance ball or something like that, then that's your goal. Break it down into steps, okay? If you need help with something like that, I can totally help to figure out a progression for you. I am a run coach, and then I'm also a personal trainer. So my sweet spot is being really resourceful and attentive to, okay, where are you at right now, and where are you looking to go? How do we get you there? What are the steps? And breaking it down and making it very simple and exciting to see progress as we go. So finally, all you have to do is execute the plan. Get up on a daily basis, or a bi-daily basis, or an every other day basis. Whatever that plan is, you know each day what you're gonna do. All you have to do is the actual steps that will take you to success. And pay attention, be mindful of, okay, wait, let me step back for a second, maybe every week, just do an analysis to see, is this still taking me in that direction? How am I feeling? How am I doing? All of those kinds of things. But really, tried and true. All you have to do is execute and pay attention, be mindful. Do an analysis each week just to pay attention. Then finally, all that you have left to do is accomplish the goal. So these are things that have motivated you over the course of however many weeks or however many months, okay, and taken you to this goal. Yay! Now all you have left to do is to celebrate and then set another goal. And we do the same thing over and over and over. We just keep progressing in life. We just keep finding new things to work towards, new things to grow towards, new things to learn, more things to stimulate our minds and to stimulate our bodies, our biochemistries, our physiologies, everything. Like anything that we can do to keep moving is going to be highly beneficial to our entire quality of life as we go, our entire life experience. So I encourage you to do these things today. Listen back to my story to really gain another understanding of the process that I went through in terms of really feeling burnt out and not feeling excited, but still making myself go out and work out, go out and run. And then the excitement that I found within a fresh goal, something that also encompasses a couple of areas of my life, not only the physicality of it, but then also my love for travel, my love for exploration and new experiences. And find something that is akin to that for you in your life. Find that translation for you. And please continue the conversation with me. I look forward to talking with you. I'd love to hear the things that you're thinking about doing. If you would like any banter back and forth, like suggestions, I'd love to talk. Like, leave a comment, send me an email, reach out, whatever. Send me a message and let's continue the conversation. Let me know if I can be of any help to you and share this with a friend. Talk with you soon.